right, y'all. Rick's Smiley Morning Show. Hey, 15 minutes before the top of the hour, y'all. We got Jeff Johnson right here with 3 things you need to know. What up, Jeff?
What up, family? How y'all doing?
Man, we trying to make it, man. We tired of being in quarantine, but God is still good. So.
Listen, and we gonna be in it for a minute if we want to be safe. But I really wanted, Rick, this morning to dive into this topic that you and I have been talking about for some time, which is the possibility of Vice President Biden choosing an African-American woman as his vice presidential candidate. And so I wanted to bring on my sister, my friend. She is a political CEO of her own firm. She has a podcast. You see her on TV all over the place, but she is in the trenches. And that's my sister, Angela Rye. Angela, what's up?
Yeah.
Hey, Jeff. Good morning, Ricky. Good morning.
Oh, yeah.
Good morning. Yes.
So we appreciate you. We know you on the West Coast, so it's mad early. But I wanted to ask you, I mean, there are now hundreds of sisters who have signed on to this movement to push the Biden campaign to select an African-American woman. But it's bigger than that, right? So can you give us some context for all that's being engaged and what you're asking for this candidate not only consider but to do?
Yes, thank you, Jeff, for the opportunity. And I would just say to you that what we are hearing overwhelmingly is that black folks will support Joe Biden, but black folks aren't necessarily turning out for Joe Biden. There was a Quinnipiac poll that was just released yesterday that was conducted last week that has Joe Biden at 81% among black voters and a drop with 3%. And what that should tell us is that Joe Biden by himself is not sufficient to turn out black voters. We are normally in the mid-90s for who we support for president. This is a very dangerously low figure. And what we're saying is, Joe Biden, you're going to need black voters, and black voters need 3 things. There's a black woman vice president, and there are, to your point, Jeff, lots of black women who have signed on to that. And I want to shout out Melanie Campbell and so many others of our sisters who did that. But there are also 2 additional demands that we believe will mobilize bodies in the fall. And that is having a black woman Supreme Court justice, which should not be hard for Joe Biden because he committed to it on the debate stage. And the third thing, and I would argue is the most significant thing, is a comprehensive black agenda. Joe Biden released a Lift Every Voice plan for Black America that is it's not so much of a plan. He wasn't even consulting black people on what he needed. He actually rolled out the plan without having very much black input, and you can tell because the plan is shallow. And so we're saying a comprehensive agenda is what is needed because, frankly, he's at the top of the ticket for Democratic voters, for the Democratic Party. And this is something that the Democratic Party has owed and should have been done for black people.
Well, and we know that there's no candidate. We know that there's no candidate that wins without black women. So I'm curious is what has the response of the campaign been?
You asking Angela? You asking?
Yeah, no. How has the campaign responded?
That was the response. You didn't lose me, right? So there's not been much of a response. There's not been much of a response, and it's irresponsible.
Go ahead, Rick.
And if I'm not mistaken, I'm really, really offended there is not a black woman sitting on the United States Supreme Court. That hurt me to my soul or whatever. And I love President Obama to death or whatever and supported him or whatever. But if I just had one, if I may, I think that would have been a great opportunity to seat a black woman, all these qualified judges that's out here. That bothered me more than anything. Like it should be. That would have been a historical moment. And I hope that Joe Biden would do it or whatever, because I've been pretty frustrated with the Democratic, party as well. So, Angela Rye, you are definitely on point, and I'm with you because for the first time in my life, I've been feeling everything that you just said. Like I've been thinking some of this stuff, but just didn't know how to articulate it. So. Absolutely.
And Rickey, the thing that we all should remember, and Jeff, we know this because, like you said, we talk about these things all the time. This isn't about like, okay, let's go vote for Trump. You know, he's great for the blacks. That's not it, right? We're saying that this is about you engaging voters who have been there for you and you've never been there for them back. So we're telling you what black people are owed. We're not telling you this what black people need. We're talking about a bargain for exchange, which is what a contract should be. And when you're this loyal, you're owed some things. You know, that's just
Before you get out of here, Angela, has there been a concentrated movement of men supporting this?
I haven't seen it yet, Jeff, and I'm so glad today that on Rickey Smiley's morning show you're announcing that that's the role you're taking. Thank you for cheering that, Jeff Johnson.
No, literally, I was going to say I wanted to do this with Rick. No, I want to do this. There's almost nobody more politically passionate I know than Rick. And so, Rick, listen, I'm going to draft up the language for you and I to do a petition to call on black men to support our sisters in this piece.
All right,
it can't just be y'all rolling and us saying, yeah, sisters, go. We got to do some concentrated mobilization as black men, too.
And make sure y'all call Russ Parr and call Steve Harvey, call everybody, and everybody need to be aboard because I'm with it. I'm with it.
Done deal. We own it.
Thank you guys for doing that. And just know that there are a lot of black men who have spoken up, but in terms of an organized effort, I haven't seen that yet. I know that we need one. Because we want black people to be excited about going to the polls. They're not going to be excited if they're continued to be treated as invisible, right? That's just the truth.
That's right. Well, Angela, we thank you for coming on, sis. We thank you for the work that you do. I'm hoping that through this cycle, you'll join us more often. But in the immediate, we're going to move to mobilize some men to support the hundreds of women that are already calling this campaign to deliver for black folks in ways that the Democratic Party just has failed to do. So thank you so much. Sis.
Absolutely.
Thank you. It'll be my pleasure. It's always good to join y'all. Take care.
Absolutely. Right. Thank you, y'all. Hey, Jeff, thank you, man. Let everybody know how you can be reached.
Y'all can hit me at Jeff's Nation on all social media. Appreciate y'all. We'll talk next week. And, Rick, I'm going to follow up with you on this.
Yes, sir, man. Hey, I'm really excited about that. That's what I want. I think I needed to hear that this morning because I was feeling the same thing, man. You know. All right, y'all. More Rickey Smiley Morning Show coming up. Songs that'll stay in your head all day and a lot more. Rickey Smiley Morning Show.